Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London, and this morning I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Edward Elgar Publishing Limited. They're an independent publisher of very high quality academic legal texts, both for research purposes and of course for practitioners. This book is called Natural Resources and Sustainable Development. It's got a subtitle, International Economic Law Perspectives, and it's come to us by two people who've edited it, Celine and Julio Faundez. Elizabeth and I have looked at this book. She was the lead writer on this particular review, and we have a title for our book review as follows: Improving the Governance of World Natural Resources, a compendium of current legal perspectives from Edward Elgar. And that's what we're getting. Let's have a look at the book first. It's a hardback. There we go, very much the house style of Edward Elgar, and what we've come to respect and love. There we go, there's the back, some quotes, a little bit of blurb about the authors on the back. The book follows the standard style. There is a detailed index at the back by page numbering, and as I say, it's quite useful to find things quite quickly with the index, which starts there. You can see that, and you can see that what they do is they have as a bibliography. The bibliography is called references, and that's at the end of each chapter. So basically you don't have much in the way of footnoting. There is a bit of footnoting, but not much. Now at the front you've got the main front page, which is there. Then you've got all the detail about Elgar. It also gives you information about how to find this publication online, and with the relevant references. Then you've got the various chapter headings in that page there, and the names of the individual contributors there. A large number of people involved in contributing. This is an edited book, so there are a large number of contributors. Can't mention them all by name, but you can see the names there. Then there's a preface with a lot of detail. You can see again a little bit of footnoting at the bottom. Then there's some acknowledgements. The actual preface was written in December 2016, and I'm recording this in late 2017. You can see the introduction to the book there, and then it just runs through. And as you can see, there's a conclusion normally to each chapter, and then references at the end. And it's logically structured throughout, with subheads and numbering where appropriate. It's a very interesting book, very much of a global book, of course. It's looking at international economic law perspectives, and I'm sure many people involved in this area concerning natural resources and sustainable development will find this interesting. It's obviously at a high academic level as well, to be expected from Elgar. So what do we say about the book? Well, we say this: it would seem at first glance that the natural readership base for this book would be international lawyers specialising in environmental law, but no, and not necessarily. Published recently by Elgar, the book is actually an excellent research handbook, and a distinguished one at that. Comprises 15 carefully researched articles by as many international contributors from top universities worldwide, and it reflects the international disquiet regarding the governance or lack of it of natural resources, especially in situations where often obvious flaws in governance, particularly in developing countries, can wreak devastating consequences within local populations. And I have to say, as an older person, that this is a subject that's been with us most of my working life, and that's spread over 40 odd years. So there's nothing new about this. I can remember these issues being raised in the 60s and 70s, which is now a very long time ago as many people are concerned, but the issues haven't gone away. And of course it's in such circumstances, with the problems in the developing countries that we've got, that almost inevitably tensions can arise. They certainly have in the past, between, of course, say, investors and local communities affected often adversely by natural resources projects. And we've seen that in the decades, as I say, since the 60s, when I think an awareness started then, and it's become a progressive build-up since then, and that's one of the reasons why this book is so helpful. Now, both from the University of Warwick, where discussions on these and related issues took place, the editors Celine and Julio Faundez remarked that the chapters contained in this volume, quote, highlight the fact that the international governance and management of natural resources has become an important area for international research law excuse me, and policy making as conflict over their use becomes more acute. And that's basically the mission, if you like, of the purpose of the book. Now, the comment is made that while natural resources are central to global economic growth, problems often arise in the shape and form of legal, territorial and political disputes between states within the worst situations negative impact on human rights. And again, you can see the legal connotations immediately springing up. These tensions, say the editors, will only be resolved if the international community establishes a comprehensive and equitable legal framework for the regulation of natural resources. Well, that issue has been with us for a long time. The UN have looked at it, of course, and a whole range of other people have looked at it. But, of course, the comment that's made is that it can be resolved if we can get some assistance. But I think we're a bit of a long way off yet from that. The book, of course, will do much, as I say, to advance the debate on the ways and means by which just such an equitable legal and political framework might possibly be achieved. It's obviously something that will continue to be discussed. It maintains a clear focus on the intersection between issues of regulation and governance on the one hand, and environmental law, human rights law and other areas of international law on the other. And I think, again, that's an important position to bear in mind because we do have a large number of difficult situations, and in some cases the situations are getting worse, and these are obviously covered I think in a very practical way and a very straightforward way by the writers. The articles on these points then certainly cover a broad range of inquiry, from investment treaties, political risk insurance, tropical forests and climate change, to global value chains and the role of the World Trade Organization, and of course much more. Information rich and erudite, of course, this book, with its emphasis on responsibility in the exploitation of natural resources, provides advocates and practitioners in this area of law with a lot of ammunition in disputes, debates and the more than occasional court battle on environmental and related issues. And I'm sure anybody involved in and interested in environmental law will find this book very helpful. Specialists, of course, in political science and economics as they pertain to public policy, we think will also find the book useful, as it is further enriched by copious footnoting and lengthy and detailed bibliographies at the end of each article, in other words, each chapter throughout. And the publication date is cited as at the 25th of August 2017, and I'm recording this particular clip towards the end of the year. Now, looking at the book again, there is the actual front of the book, there is the spine, and there is the back of the book, and you can see some basic information. If I just open it in the middle, you can see the basic information. The book is a book that you can read through, I think, quite easily. There is a little bit of footnoting, as I say, at the bottom, but generally speaking, it's a detailed book and a very, very valuable book, I think, for everybody concerned with this particular subject. But I'd like to thank the editors and the actual contributors, who we often tend to sort of ignore a little bit. They are the writers of the individual articles in the chapters. There they are there again. I'd like to thank them all very much indeed for producing an excellent book. It's a book, look, I think actually I could say it's a book concerning the issue of long-term natural resources and how we're going to be looking at it. But thank you to Elgar for producing it, and good luck to everybody involved in this very interesting area of environmental law. Thank you. Bye-bye.